Have you ever looked at someone else and thought, they're just naturally gifted? Maybe they're smarter, more confident, more disciplined, more successful. And maybe you've wondered if they simply started life with something you never had. Most people believe talent is destiny. Confucius did not. Over 2,500 years ago, he taught something that challenged almost every assumption of his society. He believed that greatness was not reserved for the fortunate. It was built by the committed. And if he were alive today, he would probably tell you to stop worrying about your potential and start worrying about your habits, because talent might get you noticed. But discipline determines who stays standing when life gets difficult. Confucius was born into a period of political chaos in ancient China. Power belonged to noble families. Education belonged to the wealthy. Most people believed your future was decided the moment you were born. If you were born into privilege, you had opportunity. If you weren't, you accepted your place. Confucius rejected this idea completely. Instead of teaching only aristocrats, he accepted students from almost every social class. His only requirement was willingness to learn. He famously said, "In teaching there should be no distinction of classes." That idea was revolutionary. He wasn't searching for the most talented students. He was searching for the most dedicated ones, because he believed character could be developed, wisdom could be learned, virtue could be practiced. Greatness was earned. Today we've changed the language, but many people still believe the same lie. I'm just not good at math. I'm not disciplined. I'm not a leader. I'm just not talented. These become identities, and identities become excuses. Confucius would ask a different question, not, "What gifts were you born with?" but, "What are you becoming every single day?" Because every habit is a vote for the person you're becoming. Think about almost every skill that impresses you. A great speaker, a successful business owner, an elite athlete, a musician, a surgeon, a craftsman. We often see the finished product. We rarely see the thousands of ordinary days that built it. The early mornings, the mistakes, the repetition, the frustration. Talent makes for a good story. Discipline builds real mastery. Confucius believed moral character worked exactly the same way. Kindness isn't something you're born with. Integrity isn't inherited. Patience isn't genetic. They are practiced. Every honest decision strengthens honesty. Every act of courage strengthens courage. Every time you choose responsibility instead of comfort, you become more responsible. Character isn't discovered. It's constructed, one decision at a time. Modern science has caught up with this ancient wisdom. Psychologists call it the growth mindset. Neuroscientists call it neuroplasticity. Our brains physically change through repetition. Skills improve. Habits strengthen. Confidence grows through evidence, not wishful thinking. The person you become tomorrow depends largely on what you repeatedly do today. Confucius understood this without laboratories. He simply watched human nature. There's another lesson hidden inside his teaching. Effort is one of the few things completely under your control. You can't control your genetics. You can't control where you were born. You can't control who had better parents, better schools, or more opportunities. But you can control whether you study today, whether you exercise today, whether you tell the truth today, whether you keep your word today, whether you improve by 1% today. That is freedom. Because no one can take disciplined effort away from you. One of the biggest traps in modern life is waiting to feel ready. People wait for motivation. They wait for confidence. They wait until they feel inspired. Confucius would likely smile at this. Because action comes first, feelings follow. The disciplined person doesn't wake up motivated every day. They simply continue, even when they don't feel like it, especially when they don't feel like it. Imagine two people beginning the exact same journey. One has incredible natural ability. The other has average ability, but refuses to quit. One skips practice because success comes easily. The other practices every day because progress must be earned. At first, talent wins. Months later, It's close. Years later, discipline usually wins because talent has limits. Consistency compounds forever. This is why comparing yourself to someone else's gifts is such a waste of energy. You don't know how much effort they've invested. You don't know what struggles they've overcome. And more importantly, their path has nothing to do with yours. The only meaningful comparison is whether you're becoming better than you were yesterday. Confucius believed self-improvement was a lifelong responsibility, not a competition. So ask yourself, what if you've been measuring yourself by the wrong standard? What if success isn't determined by what you were given, but by what you're willing to build? The next time you're tempted to say, "I'm just not talented enough," replace it with a better question. What discipline have I avoided today? Because talent is uncertain. Discipline is available to everyone, and unlike talent, discipline grows stronger every time you use it. Confucius believed every person had the capacity to become wiser, more virtuous, more capable, if they were willing to do the work. Not because greatness was reserved for a chosen few, but because greatness was built one deliberate choice at a time. Your future is not decided by your natural gifts. It's decided by what you repeatedly practice, and that may be the most hopeful lesson Confucius ever taught. Because your greatest advantage isn't the talent you were born with. It's the discipline you choose today. If you found value in this lesson, subscribe to Old World Wisdom for more timeless insights from history's greatest thinkers. Remember, talent may open the first door. Discipline builds the life beyond it.